conversation. But yeah, if you're going to go to a scheme, would you rather go to like a Raven scheme where it's, you're looking at Greg Roman's power heavy gap, or would you rather go to a more wide open scheme?
Yeah, it's like for me, I feel like I would fit more in that like heavy run gap scheme type of system. The thing I've been trying to improve on is like overall athleticism, like consistency and doing things that will fit for both systems to try to improve my stock. But I feel like overall I'd be better in like a gap scheme heavy run type of system.
Okay, you want to get out hit people?
Yeah, I'm trying to be the aggressor, no doubt.
Do you like to be the guy that's down blocking, or do you like to be the one that's pulling?
I like, honestly, pulling is fun. As a center, you don't really pull much. When I played at guard at Coastal my sophomore year, I pulled a lot, and that was a fun time because sometimes they don't see it, and you just blow them up. Yeah, exactly, no doubt.
So last week when the Niners pulled Trent Williams.
Oh no, that was awesome. I literally saw him in the backfield. I was like going crazy pre-snap, but it was cool. It was really really cool to see that.
Would you lobby for your coach to let you play football?
100%.
Is there an offensive lineman that would say no to that?
Yeah.
If there was, I would doubt they're an offensive lineman.
Yeah, for real. Like goal line, like line me up at fullback, like ISO. Just let me go right down the middle and like ISO on the linebacker. It'd be awesome.
Somebody.
Yeah, for sure.
Just go on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you call protection?
In terms of what they would do is they would give us like 6-man or 5-man pro, and I would just like identify the front and the mic point, like who we were sliding to, and like for 5-man, it would kind of depend because we would slide one side and basically be like MDM. So let's say we're doing like 50 pro, so yeah, we're sliding left. The right guard, right tackle would be like MDM on the 2 D lineman and like the backer.
So if you get like a 9, a 5, and a 1, and then right guard's completely uncovered, and you get the end on the other side, what are you doing there?
Saying a 9.
So like if you get 3 on one side, your right guard's completely uncovered, and then you get another 9 on the other side. What are you?
So it kind of depends. Like in that situation, we would try to like man it up. It would just kind of depend though. Sometimes they might like slide us to the overload side and kind of send the back to the back side. But it just kind of depends, like game plan wise. Like if they got a guy and they're trying to get him one-on-one, we don't want to get him one-on-one. You know what I mean? We're kind of trying to say, yeah, not at all, not at all.
Is there ever a front that you see where like you're immediately like, oh shit, we can't do this with 5. Like we need 6.
Yeah, I mean, like we played Pitt this past year, and they like what they like to do is like we called it radar. So basically, they'd have like their 3 down and they'd sub in a bunch of backers, and they would just like walk all over the place. Like so, you had to like count for a man. You couldn't just slide it. So like we would try to bring in an extra back and have like 7-man pro. It'd be like a running back and like a tight end, like lined up in like the wing or whatever. But yeah, no, that was a tough protection because basically you're manned up everywhere, and like they were wanting to do that. Yeah, twisting everywhere, every which way for sure.
Are you basically dueling it where it's like you're scanning for Mike, and if he doesn't come in, you got to go like all the way backside? Is that how you're trying to handle that? Or?
With that kind of play or that protection?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So what we would do is like, let's say they had. The 3 down, they had a stack backer walked up over the edge. They had one in the middle and then one over the right side edge, and like a guy kind of hanging out deep. The left tackle, left guard would take. We would basically like work the stacks, and then the right tackle would take MDM. And sometimes what he would do, we would just kind of like man it, like all right, you're gonna take the end, and we'll send a running back or 2, like a running back and a tight end over there to kind of protect. Like you said, like you don't really want to run him back one-on-one with a rusher.
That's what their goal is.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
Like when you get like the double mug stuff, they're like, please.
Yeah, they're trying to send a running back. Yeah, they want you to send the running back.
Did you guys handle that with a sniffer? Or like how did you do double mug?
With like a 4 down, 2 guys walked up, I would like try to set midline and see which one came. Like sometimes they would drop one and like, but if they brought both, I would just whatever. Like say it's 60, I'd take the left one. So the back would come down and try to cut that guy.
Is your snap hand your right hand?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got your free hand.
Right.
Yeah. Do you ever like have to play against like a cock nose that's just going after your snap hand like every
No, I haven't like played one, but in training, like with the O-line guys that I'm working with, that's like what they've been working on because a lot of guys will try to like catch that snap hand down.
Yep.
Like I remember like the first day of training I was working with, because I work with John Stinchcomb and Bob Whitfield, and I was working with Bob, And it was like the second day we were working, and the kind of first day we were kind of just talking through things. So the second day we're like actually doing like on-field stuff. I literally go to snap the ball, and like he's a big dude, and like he grabs my elbow, and I'm like, can't get it out. I'm like, he's like, yeah, you better be ready for it. I'm like, all right. He's like, here's how you do it, So, yeah, no doubt. He's a problem. He is definitely a problem. I've watched the Bucs play a lot these last 2 years because like I'm a big Ryan Jensen guy. Like try to like model. Sure. He's nasty, and I love that. So I've been watching a lot of the Bucs, and like I see Vita Vea, and he's a dog. He's big, and he's talented for sure. So.
Now the thing about Ryan is he doesn't let anything go. Right? If you get, it's rare enough to get one over on him. But if you do, 2 plays later,
he's coming.
Looking for word.
He's coming.
And he's just going to stand there and be like, remember?
Yeah,
remember? Yeah.
If you notice, like, nobody has jumped against Jensen in about 2 years.
Yeah, I wouldn't jump against him either because he's going to try to flip you on your head. Yeah.
No, hard punishment. Who was one of the best players you played against?
I would say there's 2. My sophomore year at Coastal, we played against South Carolina, so Javon Kinlaw. Yep. He is. His arms are really, really long, and he will lock you out, and he is athletic. And then in 2020, our first game of the year was versus NC State, so I played against Aleem McNeil, like a shorter kind of guy, but he's like heavier, crowds that ball, and he can move for his size. Yeah.
It's really, really quick through the interior. Did that for the Lions this year. But, Kinlaw we met at the 2020 Senior Bowl, and Kinlaw was the opening interviews there with Jalen Hurts. It was Jalen Hurts and Kinlaw. And we had a bet on how much he weighed because weigh-ins were the next morning. And Brett leans over and he says, they say that guy's 300 pounds. He's not 300 pounds. I said, all right, we'll check at weigh-ins. And he was charging batteries, so he got there after Kinlaw got weighed in. He comes up and goes, they weigh Kinlaw yet? I was like, yeah. What do you guess? He's like, 295. I was like, no, he's like 315. He's like, what?
He's rocked up now.
Yeah. And but he was just all muscle.
Yeah.
He holds it well in that really long frame, like you said. His arms are super long. You can look at him and you don't think he's that heavy because he moves like that, and he just.
No, you can feel it.
Yeah, but then you see him, and he's just. People say, rolling ball, butcher knives, whatever. I mean, he's that guy that's just coming every snap, and with that kind of weight and that kind of length behind him, it's not surprising he had the kind of success and was drafted as high as he was.
100%.
Who's the best guy that you played with?
As an O-lineman?
No, just a guy on your team that 2 or 3 years from now might be sitting here in this chair, and you'd be like, I told you, that guy's
so we're talking about a young guy. We're not talking about.
It could be either.
Well, I would say guy that I have played with that is the best player I've played with would be Christian Darrisaw. He was a first rounder this past year. I mean, I remember like at practice, I don't think I've ever seen him like lose a one-on-one rep. Like when he was at Tech, like I don't think he lost one, like ever. And it was like very like rare to ever see him lose a rep at all in practice, and even like games. I mean, I remember last year or 2 years ago, we were playing Miami, and they had like the 2 good edge rushers with Roche and Jalen or Russo, not Russo. He opted out, right? Was he the guy that went to the Bills? Yeah, so it was Phillips and the guy that transferred from Temple, Roche. Yeah, Roche, yeah. And I remember seeing him like the entire game, like lock them all down. I was like, dude, he is different. I was like, yeah. I was like, this dude's going first round. Yeah, I was like, I knew it.
And who's a young guy at VT?
A young guy that I think is really, really talented, and I hope he like continues to grow over these next couple years was our right guard this past year is Caden Moore. He has a really special ability to finish dudes too at a young age. He plays really, really nasty, and I mean, last year was his freshman year, so in 3 years from now, I think he will be a really, really good player for sure.
Is there a particular move that you love to see? Like it's a great day for you if somebody's throwing this move all day. And is there a particular move that you hate to see?
Probably a move that I hate to see.
I'd go with a Stinchcomb elbow grab.
That. I think a lot of guys I feel like to use heavier guys. They like to kind of stutter and bull. So they like try to stutter to try to make you think they're about to swipe or do something like that, and then they bull you. you got to kind of be patient on it. You can't like freak out and shoot your hands outside and stuff, because if so, then they're going to drive you back. Shoot, a move I'd like to see, or I don't know. I kind of like to, in my sets, I kind of like to get on them a little early and make them just kind of lean and stress, or just normal rush, like that. But yeah, like that's kind of my goal, especially like in one-on-ones, because it's their advantage situation. Like I want to get on them early and try to put my hands on them early and see if I can limit their moves to just kind of leaning on me and trying to rush that way. So.
Is there a particular D lineman here that like you took a rep against where you're like, oh shit, that dude is?
Yeah, I feel like on our team there's a lot of guys like that are really, really tall and have long arms and are heavy behind them. So I would say that pretty much the entire D tackle group is really, really talented, and they have that ability because they're 6'6", 350, that they can use their weight and long arms. So.
How's your overall Shrine Bowl experience been?
It's been really, really good. I was actually in the Shrine Bowl, like the Carolinas coming out of high school. So that was like when North and South Carolina play each other. And that was a really, really like unique experience for me. And like going to because at that time, now we won't be doing it because of COVID, but at that time, like we got to go to like the Children's Hospital and stuff, and be with them all day. So that was like a really special experience for me. But yeah, I mean, this one's been different. It's in Vegas. It's kind of, a new sight to see. I've never been out here. But this one's been fun because I feel like our O-line group, it's like really kind of already gelled together after 2 days. And it would be fun to, go out and practice again tomorrow.
Schedule-wise, like how have you felt the scheduling's been for players? I know Eric is really trying to prioritize.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Actually, because like we practice in the morning, get it out of the way. They allow us time to like eat and then go like get a recovery, like stretch, massage, that thing, come back to the hotel, position meetings, then we do interviews, and then we'll meet again, and we're pretty much done, by 9 o'clock, and then you can go get treatment and stuff. So it's been honestly like very like for the players, trying to help us recover, because they know like we just finished the season, like this week's tough, like we're going to go through a 3-4 day stretch where you're hitting against guys that are talented, guys that are big, guys that are strong. So they're prioritizing that recovery. So it's awesome for sure.
It's been an amazing event. We've only been here for a day, but we're just from a media perspective. The practice was so organized.
It was very, very organized, and like I know a couple guys that I knew like went to other different things, and they felt like things were just kind of unorganized, and like that I've never felt that like at all here. So it's been cool and a really, really good experience.
Well, this has been a fantastic interview. Thank you so much.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Time,
Yeah,
really
thank you.
appreciate it.
Brock, nice to meet you.
Yes, sir.